Sorry about sounding terrible and being under the weather, but the Blazer has come into some new issues and I'm working on it now, so I figured I might as well make a video. So I was driving it in the snow. As you can see, all the salt that's all over the truck. I was driving it in the snow and it was driving great. I've only got two-wheel drive right now because I have not fixed I removed the vacuum disconnect on the front axle. I removed all the vacuum system. I did not replace it with the cable locker yet, so I don't have four-wheel drive. But with these snow tires on here and being a limited slip diff in the back, this thing handled great in the snow, no issues. But after the snow was cleared up and the roads were clear, I noticed that there was a vibration that I thought was snow, but being parked in the garage here, the wheels, they all melt out and everything, so it's not snow stuck in the wheels, and the vibration was continuing. So I did a little testing with it. I got underneath the truck, rolled the truck forward a bit, relieved the pressure off the rear drive shaft from being parked, and was able to wiggle the drive shaft and notice that there was some play in the rear U-joint. So I'm pretty sure the U-joint is what's causing the vibration. We won't find out until I replace it. But what I do have is the drive shaft off of the black Blazer I had. I unburied this from a bunch of snow yesterday, so as you can see, it's pretty rusty. It's falling all over the garage there. So I think what I'm going to do is basically quickly remove the old drive shaft, put this drive shaft back in. I'm going to try to find some sandpaper to clean up this edge here so I don't ruin the seal. But I'm going to try swapping this drive shaft in. As you can see, these U-joints really aren't terrible. They still move. There's no like clunkiness to them. They're not binding up at all. So it all moves pretty smooth. So at least that should be good for now. It's obviously not got new U-joints and it's rusty as hell, so it's not a great replacement, but it should get me at least a couple hundred miles, I would assume. But I've already disconnected the old drive shaft and it is hanging. I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me turn the light on. Let's see. Alright, so you can see that the light is, the drive shaft is disconnected. That rear U-joint I just played with it quickly is like seized up, so it is bad. It definitely needs to be replaced. I have a U-joint, but I'm trying to do it on there and then trying to catch all of the fluid that's going to fall when I swap it. There's going to be less fluid spilling out when I swap it than if I were to just remove that and try fixing that drive shaft. But those are not the only issues I've discovered lately. There is a problem with the heat system. I bought this expecting to use it for parts, and then when I was finally doing testing, it was the summer, so I never tested this, but there is no heat on the feet. So there's a couple things it could be. There's a vacuum control that controls where the heat and air comes out. And I pulled apart the underneath of the dash again, and I found out that the actuators are moving with the vacuum control. Everything's working as it should, which only leaves one thing. It's just the door inside that is supposed to flap back and forth to adjust the air is broken, and it's kind of a not common, but it happens with these vehicles. That's cheap plastic that they used. And then as I was undoing this drive shaft, I've developed a new issue, and that is right over here with this striker where the door connects. You can hear it's loose, and you can see there is a crack, and so that's going to need to be welded up. Let me see if the light, turn it off, makes any difference. Yeah, the light's better. So I'm going to have to pull this off, weld up that crack, and make sure that that doesn't get worse. And I assume that that is probably because the hinge pin bushings are worn out. This door is not nearly as bad as my other Sonoma was, or the other black Blazer. Like, the door seems to actually line up pretty well, but it must just be off enough that it's hitting and putting pressure on the top of this and causing that to break itself. So more issues that need to be fixed. hopefully I can get some of them out of the way so things don't get worse. But being sick, being almost -30 with the wind chill, they're saying, outside. Luckily I have a garage today, but I am house sitting and I'm not going to have this house after tomorrow. So I have very limited time with the garage, so I'm going to try to get some stuff done. So I will try to show you the other drive shaft once I get it out and go from there. Alright, so the truck's back on the ground now. The drive shaft, the rusty drive shaft on the black Blazer, is now installed. And here is the drive shaft that came out of this one. As you can see, it's still pretty good shape. It's still black and not as rusty. This joint is still pretty good. Doesn't really have much slack in it and it moves freely. Sorry, I don't know if that was on camera. So this side still good. This is the joint that is bad. Like this does not want to wiggle, and these caps, they spin, but they're very notchy, and you can almost see it's disgusting in there. But you can kind of tell that that's not what it's supposed to be doing. So I'm gonna rebuild this one, new U-joints. I'll probably make a video on that, how to do that. But for now, I'm gonna drive around with the other drive shaft in there, and once that is rebuilt with 2 new U-joints, then I'll put that shaft back in. But at least this keeps me going, and we'll see you the next time I have a garage or when it gets a little bit warmer. It is supposed to hit 50 at the end of next week, so we've got single digits and negative with the wind chill, and it'll be 50 next week, so maybe I'll be able to swap it out then. I'll see you guys on the next one. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave any comments below, any questions you might have. Thank you. Have a good one.